to our very first time at doing a podcast. This is Deadcast for everybody that will be joining us. I'm Onyx Deadman, or Deadman for short. Our one friend O'Leary's, he will be joining us a bit later. He is running late. He decided he had to go pick up something, I guess. And I'll let the other two introduce themselves.
I'm Black Fox, and I play games and all that stuff, and we're here to talk about some certain things that we would like to talk about.
He's also basically our cameraman, in a sense.
God dang it.
Don't worry. Unlike Resident Evil 7, you won't die.
Well, we're all dead. You said
And
it now.
our second compadre that is here.
And I'm Voodoo, and I love long walks on the beach.
Wow.
So, hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Deadman.
Voodoo, Jesus. Voodoo, do you have any YouTube or Twitch things going on that you want to talk about first?
No, I do not.
Okay, so you have no Twitch. Me, on the other hand, Onyx Deadman, I have YouTube and Twitch along with Black Fox.
Yep.
We kind of play together games for Friday D&D, and you can find the streams on his channel. And if you also want, we a lot of times share streams or host each other and try to help each other grow. So if you want to check out either or even both at the same time, we have quite a few different things for it.
Just have to both streams up in different tabs. You're good.
Yeah, just have both streams at once in different tabs.
Yeah, that sounds not fun.
Fox, I'm going to tell you this right now. You have the title as Dead Cest.
You misspelled it on your thing.
No, I said cast.
No. Hold on a second. I'll tell you why.
So yeah, by the end, you guys can all probably tell what our first topic is for tonight.
Yeah. That switch, though. It's great. It's beautiful.
So, who wants to start on this first topic of the glorious Nintendo Switch? Which, how long ago did it come out? About
Week ago?
Was it a week ago?
I think a couple
Yeah.
weeks, not like a week.
Yeah, it was released last week on the 3rd.
On the 3rd, okay. Alright. So yes, the Switch. Is it a failure? Or is it a winner?
I would say it's a failure. I feel like they released it too early.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems going on with it right now.
Well, even if it had if it didn't have the problems, you're releasing a console with only 2 games to start off with.
Well, it does have others, doesn't it?
Well, it does, but they're new games coming out.
Oh yeah.
There's
All
only
the other ones are basically already released on the Wii U, aren't they?
I think so. I believe they are.
And can't you get Breath of the Wild for the Wii U as well?
You
actually?
can.
You can. And
Yeah,
Yep.
so their main hyped game for the Switch. Why bargain a Switch if you could just get it on a Wii U?
If you think about it, with the mini NES there, they had it where it was only set to a certain amount that they released. So people just bought that up, and then when the Switch came out, they're like, I have to get this before it's so.
Yeah, but it's not like they're not. That's the last time they're ever gonna see it.
No, yeah, but if you think about it, it was good marketing there at that point, because then people will buy a Switch, game those games, and then since they already have the Switch there, it's easy to buy the games from on out.
Oh well, it works there.
Yeah. There's a few other problems with it that I've been seeing. Have you guys seen the videos of where the screen just keeps freezing and makes a lot of loud screeching noises and such?
I saw some videos on that.
Yeah, I saw some as well.
It seems that, yeah, like Fox said, they released it too soon because there's a lot of faulty problems with just the tech itself. Not even just the fact that there's so few little games for it, but just how bad it's going for the actual performance of the system. I think Breath of the Wild, yeah, it looks really nice. I've seen some gameplay images. It looks nice, but it caps out at 30 frames a second. For
I'm like-
something that's supposed to be next gen and groundbreaking, like Nintendo said it would be, 30 frames seems a little bit low.
Well, this is the
All
thing.
consoles really cap out at 30 frames per second, though.
Yeah, they're all like that. But the thing is about Nintendo, I don't know. I don't really like is that they're just like, for some odd reason, they have to be super gimmicky about everything.
Yeah,
Mm,
like,
trying to stand
the
out
fact that,
between
just take it
Switch.
wherever you want.
Well,
We
that
also have a DS.
that's fine. That's not like gimmicky in my opinion. That's actually smart. It's just the part where, like, for instance, looking at the controller, like when it's in the mounted thing, like, look, like it looks so weird. Like, why would you have that as a controller?
Mhm. And
Like-
also the fact that it could be two different little sticks. It's like they took a Wiimote and just cut it in half and said, "Here you go. Here's your controller."
That's literally what they did.
They basically cut a Wiimote in half because they're these awkward, very tiny. I've seen some of them. They're so tiny, and like I've heard lots of people say they're very light and they feel as if they're cheap plastic that you could just literally take in your hand like an empty can and just crunch it. And I feel like a lot of those are going to get broken. Speaking of the controllers, I've also seen quite a few people for the little clips into them so we can put a wrist strap on them. I've seen lots of people accidentally put them in backwards or upside down, and then they are really fucking stuck. I've noticed.
Well, there's a way to get them off. It's just that you'd have to put I think a like flathead screwdriver where it got like locked up to fix it. But like still, then again, that's like literally your own fault for not paying attention to what you're putting in.
Yeah,
That's
but even still,
It's kind of hard to tell which way it goes in if you take a look at it.
uh,
Until you like take it further though.
well, that's the thing is when you're sliding those things in, it's pretty obvious. There's one that says it has a minus and one has a plus.
Yeah.
So, like,
but if you're not paying attention, like most people, they'll just be like, "Okay, just slide it," and it's like, click. Oh shit.
Exactly.
but
It
still,
comes down to like how the consumer is. If they're not caring and say slide it in after they take it out, they're not really paying much attention.
And then another thing about the controllers is I've heard quite a few complaints actually about this is the red and blue controllers. I've heard prices are just gouging basically.
well, again, that's probably because you can't get any was it decals on these things because
But even still, like the red and blue ones, like the default gray ones that come with the console, I've heard those are like the really cheap kind of plastic, and then the red and blue ones are a bit nicer plastic, but even still, like let me just look up price. What are they called again exactly? They're called Joy-Cons, aren't they?
Joy-Cons.
Yeah, see, that's another name. It's like, what's the Joy-Cons thing?
Well, this is the thing. I understand that their like project name was NX. I don't know why they didn't stick with that name. It sounded a lot better than the Switch, in my opinion. Like, really? I don't know. Like, I feel like the NX is like if it was a system, if that was the name of the system, it would be more catchy than the Switch, the Nintendo Switch. But I don't know.
I can see that.
Here we go. So, what Nintendo did, I don't know if the price was changed a little bit, but originally the price was if you wanted to buy a standalone set, box of 2 Joy-Cons would be $80. But you can even buy a single Joy-Con for $49.99.
Yeah, but that's like it doesn't matter what color they are. That's the same price for the normal ones.
But even still, like for those little things, $50 for one of the controllers.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like even because you think about it, the Joy-Cons are supposed to be meant for the multiplayer aspect as well of what they're planning to do with the Switch. But if it's literally $50 for one controller, and you say need 2 extra, you're spending $100 just for 2 extra people to play with you.
Is there anything else you get with the Joy-Con though, or is it just a Joy-Con?
that is the Joy-Con standalone. $50 for a single Joy-Con is what they originally planned. I don't know if the price got reduced or not. I'm having a bit of trouble finding the currently released price, but that's what they had planned, actually.
Alright.
So that's one thing I have a problem with is also, if that's actually the thing, then that's very overpriced for me, because I've looked even at Walmart, some Xbox controllers, like Xbox One controllers, I've seen some of them for like $25, $30. Sure, that's still a little bit high for controller, but
Well, you gotta
For
remember.
Xbox One or Xbox 360?
Xbox One.
Okay.
You gotta
But
remember
even still,
though.
a single Xbox One controller, $25, double the price for a single Joy-Con. That's, like I said, it just seems gouging.
Well,
for the price.
I'm gonna say this. That's not entirely true. Well, yes, they are $25 now, but when they released, they were probably like $60 a
They
piece.
were.
So you got to remember that you're comparing it to a console that's been out now to one it's new.
Okay,
can't
here
really
we go.
do that.
I just went on Nintendo, so yeah. Oh God, why? Okay, you know the very cheap docking set,
Yeah.
the very cheap plastic docking set that's been scratching people's screens and such.
Let me guess, $90?
Yes. Huh?
$90?
Yes, $90 for the dock set, which is basically two pieces of plastic holding a single chip.
The thing is, though, why would you be needing another docking station anyway?
Yes. Why would you need why would they also have it where you can buy another docking station?
Because the thing's so like okay. First off, that thing is like probably easy to break, easily.
No, but why would they release the docking station for sale if supposedly the Switch was going to be so good? And so they knew this docking station was cheap and was going to be easy to break. So they're like, okay, it'll be cheap and easy to break. Let's sell another one for $90.
Well, another thing is like, if they're gonna have like this, this plastic thing, why don't they have like a screen protector for the system?
Or at least like some kind of felt or something on the inside of the Joy-Con. Because yeah, like I said, there's been very many complaints about the Nintendo Switch's screen getting scratched up badly just from the docking station.
Well,
Well, like, it's only been a week since the Switch has been released, so they're still working out bugs and all that.
But even still,
that's
like,
not that's the thing. That's not a bug. That's a
just
failed design.
That's poor manufacturing. That's
Really
easily
weird.
like
It
that
is-
could easily have been fixed before they even released the Switch. They could have, oh, this thing has been scratching our screen. We better switch out the inside of the docking station to something else.
Yeah, like I get what you're trying to say there, Voodoo, but like that's like yeah, there's gonna be some hiccups, but that's a design problem, not a like.
Right.
Like the problems you're talking about that could be fixed later on is like the screeching noises from the gamepad, or even the freezing games. Like that's stuff that Nintendo can fix later on. Because like if you look at Xbox 360, there was the red ring of death. The PS3, there was the yellow light of death. Xbox One had a few problems here and there with some of the integrated, like some people's wouldn't read discs. Like that stuff that can be fixed later on, just like the screeching and freezing games of the Nintendo Switch. But the scratching of the Nintendo Switch's screen from the docking station, that's something that definitely could have been fixed before they released the Nintendo Switch, just because of it's a manufacturing problem. It's not a technical or digital problem. It's literally just they designed the stand so poorly that it's just a piece of plastic holding a single chip. Like I've seen people take it apart. You would literally open up the front half. It's literally just a hollow piece of plastic that's meant to hold the Switch. The second half has basically the port for the AC cable to power it and the single chip to broadcast to your TV.
Yeah. That's right.
which is just for something that's supposed to be so next gen. Again, it's very bad that it's literally just two pieces of plastic and a single chip that can broadcast. Like, if somebody wanted to, they could easily just take that chip and the electronic part, clunk it out of the plastic, and build a much nicer stand themselves for $80 instead of buying another cheap one that'll scratch their screen.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is that, like, in the future, they're gonna sell off, like, better looking, better things for that, and they're like, oh, well.
Yeah. Just wait till the special Mario edition or special Monster Hunter edition. Like, if you look at the DS, how many different variations there have been
Yeah.
for like special editions.
I'll say there's like 50 DS versions now,
Yeah.
if not at least 100.
So yeah, there's a few problems there. Does anybody else? Okay, now does anybody have anything good to say about the Switch so far?
I'll say this about it. Putting in a system like with all the problems that it has, it being released early with only 2 brand new games and all that, it's a good idea. Like,
And when one of those games can be bought on the old system.
Well, yeah, yes, but I'm talking about its future. Like, this is like a better idea. This is a really good idea. Putting their like Wii U and their DS stuff together,
Mm-hmm.
so to say.
It is kind of a mixture of the DS and the Wii U kind of put together.
Well, I mean, thinking about it, it's not a bad idea. Like, what they this on paper and like in practice, this is actually pretty good because because they did it. Some like other companies are gonna try to like do the same thing.
Yeah.
So like they're starting a trend. Well, if it succeeds and nothing goes wrong, and like they'll have all their games and everything, there's gonna be like other people trying to copy it or make it better in a way.
Yeah.
And that's I give it that, but like after like how it starts now, like how it's starting now, it's not looking good. But then again, every system has their problems. Like, you can't say that, you know, like the PS3s and the PS4s and all that didn't have their own problems when they first launched.
Oh no, they definitely did.
So
Every kind of electronic has its own problems.
Yeah. And like I'm not saying that because we're saying this as a bad thing. We're saying it's like, well,
it'll take time to see what happens.
Time can only tell.
Yep.
Like one thing I've noticed a lot of people saying is just like, oh, why the hell is Nintendo making our system when they have the Wii U? It's such a small amount of time between the systems. It's roughly the same amount of time between the Wii and the Wii U actually released, because the Wii released in 2006. The Wii U released in 2012. So 1 year less than the Wii U's release is a little bit separation. Yes, Nintendo does release their console a little bit faster, because if you look at the 360 came out in like 2005, and the Xbox One came out in 2013.
Well,
same with Sony's PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4. Those two companies are a bit bigger. They have a lot more games, and they are with a lot more people.
Well, that's the thing.
If you look at, didn't the Wii didn't have a lot of games that Xbox or Sony had access to. Like, the Wii U was the first one to get Call of Duty, wasn't it? Or wasn't it just like very late into the Wii's sales?
We did get we did get it, but it was not.
It was very late into it, and was like one of the older ones, right?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is,
they were Modern Reflex, which is Call of Duty 4, Black Ops 1, I think. And
Yeah.
then
But
there's
then
another
again,
one, Modern Warfare 3.
then again, they got those games so late. They didn't get them right on the release either. They got them so late. But that's one problem is Nintendo tries to always make itself the family-friendly console.
Well,
So they deny themselves quite a few games.
that's not the only reason either. It's because another reason is that what they in their last two consoles, they've been really, again, what like I said, I don't like about Nintendo is they're too gimmicky.
Yeah, and also the Wii compared to the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, it does not have the power that those consoles had. That's another thing is because they try to go with these gimmicky, motion sensing Wiimote. You have to put in different stuff into your console, which can take away from the gaming aspect. Which is why, if you would look at the Xbox 360 to the Wii's version of Call of Duties, you can see a very big difference in graphical.
But the thing is too as well, like if you look at Sony and Microsoft, they're always competing against each other.
Yes.
Nintendo's off to the side. In order for them to stand out, they have to do the gimmicky stuff like the Joy-Cons, the Wii remotes, in order to stand out.
But
True, but
that's one thing that might kill them because if you look at the Wii U, the Wii U's hype died very fast. They tried the gimmicky, gamepad, play away from this thing. I tried actually with my gamepad once to go from my room into, which is about, at least only about 15, 20 feet to my kitchen to just keep kind of playing, or I wasn't playing, but I was just doing some stuff on Smash Bros. With amiibos, and I was like, okay, I'll just let them train while I'm making a sandwich, but I'll keep watch really quick. I was only about 20 feet away from the actual console, and the Wii U could not actually broadcast the screen onto the gamepad.
well,
Which goes to show the power that the Wii U had. They were trying to go for this great gimmicky thing, but the power itself was not there.
Right. And like the other reason why the Wii U flopped was because people thought it was just an add-on to the Wii and not a whole console.
well, again, what you said, Voodoo, is that they've been doing that ever since like NES. They've been doing that the whole time. They've been doing that.
They've been trying to do family-friendly, gimmicky, weird stuff.
Yeah, they've been doing that for a long time.
And
They have, but
I'm
they're
going to
also
be
trying to get away from that now.
The only thing that's been really keeping Nintendo alive is the Mario, the Legend of Zelda, Pokemon, Metroid, all those games, all those games, all the old games from Nintendo that everyone has nostalgia still. The hype of any new game, that's what's been keeping Nintendo alive, I think. Because Nintendo, if they didn't have games like that constantly coming out for new ones that would keep the hype going, I feel like Nintendo would die.
Well, they wouldn't. That would just be where Sega is now, I would say. Not.
Wait, Sega's still around?
Yeah, Sega's been around, so.
I thought
know that?
Sega died.
I think it's around.
Yeah, they just make games now. They don't make consoles anymore.
Yeah, they're a publisher more or less.
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing is, possibly Nintendo could become like Sega, where they just make games and it goes on to other systems. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy Nintendo. It's just the stuff that they do, it just doesn't keep up with today's standards for gaming, I don't think.
Like, in all honesty, I feel as if Nintendo should just become a publisher and more or less be releasing PC games. Because like, there's a huge market there.
See, another thing is also, okay, this is going a bit into the Pokemon hype. Pokemon itself. Yes, it's nice that it's handheld, but if you ever look back at old GameCube, Pokemon Coliseum, or any other of the other different kind of games where it was a bigger Pokemon game, where it was definitely a bit more like, there's so much talk about it. Like, if you look at the new Digimon games, like how you can free roam in worlds, it's not linear. Yeah, on the PS4.
Okay.
There's Cyber Sleuth and also the most recent one, New World Order, I believe it's called. It's basically where you travel with a team of Digimon. It's like the old Digimon games, but much better graphics and such. and very open world.
Just
I feel like
more like
I feel like Pokemon tried to go into a console version. Like they could still have their handheld adventures that people could go on, but try making another console game. I feel like people would die for that.
Mm-hmm. Anyway,
Like that's what I'm saying. The Switch, the way it is, it's a handheld, but it's supposed to be a console. They could do that. They could Pokemon console gaming with the Switch.
yeah, that's the point. That was the whole reason of it. And, like, I applaud them for that. I'm not getting them wrong. It's just, like, what I'm talking about, gimmicky-wise, it's like, look at that, like, look at the controller with it out being on the system. Like, that looks, in my opinion, like, I don't think it's uncomfortable.
Are you talking about the top or
the
bottom?
top part. The
Okay,
bottom
when
part
it's
is fine.
when it's in the Joy-Con holder.
Yeah, that just looks.
Yeah, because the bottom one looks like the Wii U, and the Wii U I've used a couple times. The gamepad I've used quite a bit. The Wii U, the only problem I had with it was a bit bulky in the back, and it felt awkward because I didn't know where to put my fingers. The Switch, however, when you put the Joy-Cons onto the screen, it's a smooth, flat back, which is basically no problems I've heard from anybody. But yeah, like you said, when it comes into Joy-Con holder like that,
I mean, then again,
it's like the Pro controller which they released, but just a big box of it instead of an actual controller.
well, then again, if that's like I said, that's you don't have to use that. That's why they have the Pro controller. But still, like, they should give you an option between. Well, they should give you those, but they should give you, like, if you had a second controller, you should have an option between those or a Pro controller.
Yeah. Okay. So there's one more gimmicky thing I want to talk about Nintendo Switch really quick.
Okay.
The cartridges.
uh,
The cartridges being bitter. Why? Why are they bitter? Because Nintendo want to make sure that small children wouldn't stick them in their mouths, because supposedly every small child that gets a Nintendo Switch will try to eat the damn game instead of playing it.
Well, here's a thing you should probably do. Don't make them so small. I mean, I don't know. Have you guys, either one of you, have you seen like how big the case is for the cartridge?
if I
believe-
recall correctly,
I
it's almost
believe-
the same size as a PSP.
Oh, like the game case?
Yes, it's as big
Yes.
as that, as a
Yeah,
PSP
okay.
thing.
I remember seeing Angry Joe. Speaking of Angry Joe, Angry Joe's been going a lot of shit about the Nintendo Switch right now, which is funny. But anyways, I saw him when he was opening his Nintendo Switch and opening Breath of the Wild. He opened the Breath of the Wild case, which was, yes, as big as a PSP case, probably a little bit wider at least than the PSP case, but
I think it's actually smaller.
it's about as long when you stand it up, but I think it's a little bit wider. I'm not exactly sure.
Well, here's a thing I want to ask, like, to be blunt, is like, okay, you've made DS games, 3DS games, and like the cases, they're not like they're like really small. Like, well, they're big, but they're not as big as that. Why didn't you just do that instead?
Yeah, why didn't you just make something the size of a DS case?
Yeah.
Usually to differentiate them between the console and the handheld.
Well, that's easy. You just change the color of each one.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
if you would look at
Because DS ones, I have one in my hand right now. It's a pure white case. All you would do is you would do, instead of the case size that they have, is they just have a red case, how they have the actual cases of the games.
well, I'm also looking at my Xbox collection right now. If you look at the Xbox 360, on the top corner they had this big white fucking bar and Xbox 360 printed right there. And then if you look at the Xbox One, there's not this big bar, but there's a small green square, and right below that green square, Xbox One.
Well,
There's easy stuff to have small differences. Like another one is my PS3, PS4 game cases are pure blue. PS3, you can find them in either black or red.
It's gray and red.
Gray, gray, red. But either way, there's still that difference in the two different consoles. Which, yes, I believe that Nintendo should have worked a little bit because it is very strange when you have this case, which is about as big as a PSP case. For anybody that has played on a PSP and remembers the old disc case and such.
I
And
think
you open this thing up, and there's literally just something the size of an SD card in the bottom corner of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that's another thing is, I that's actually one of the second things I want to talk about cartridge, but somebody brought up, so that's good. So I didn't have to bring up another subject.
Yeah.
So yeah, the case itself is, I find, very stupid. For a fact is that you use so much plastic and such to make this big case, and you don't even have a manual in the game case.
They don't.
Nope.
No, they don't. It's literally, you will open the case and you find a game cartridge. No manual, no booklet, nothing. Not even for Breath of the Wild.
What?
Breath of the Wild doesn't have a manual.
An-
Or anything, or
another-
even, an art book.
Another thing that they could have done for the cart, well, just speaking of the cartridge, if you didn't want them to have people eat it, why didn't you make it bigger?
Like, they could have went back to, say, GameCube discs.
Well, no, that's not what I'm saying. Like, if they wanted to go back,
but like, size-wise, I mean.
Yeah.
like, if they wanted to go back to the cartridge,
The GameCube discs aren't that big. Like, they're about the size of an average palm, I believe.
Roughly, yeah.
So that's still something that's easily portable if you have, say, a small case to just slide the discs in, so we can have multiple with you, and they would still slide into, say, the top of the Switch's area, and there'd still be enough room for all the different functions into it.
well, there's not that many functions, but
Then
yeah.
it would cost more to have that though, because like they have to. It's not a normal CD size. That, and then they also have to. Well, with today's technology, you could have more storage on it. So
Well,
They could have also done the easy Nintendo DS thing where it's like, okay, instead of these cartridges, have it to where you can literally physically download directly onto the console, like Xbox One is. You can have a download console. If you want more space, buy an SD card.
or
you can use a micro SD card for the Switch though.
Or here's a better idea. So, if you're gonna actually bring these two, the handhelds and your consoles together, you just make them just 3DS games.
Mm-hmm.
Just make them the cartridges that you already have. Problem solved. But anyway.
Yeah. But, anyways, so I just wanted to still go on the bear thing. Is, I know it's for so small children don't stick them in their mouths, but the fact is that this showed how the people who buy Switch are a little bit sheep-wise. Because as soon as Nintendo even said anything, is like, oh, our cartridges are bitter. It's like everyone wanted to try. Not because they were curious, but just because, oh, this sounds neat. Like, it's just a, like Fox, you said, it's a kind of stupid gimmick.
Well, I get what they were trying to do, but I don't think that was like a gimmick thing that they were trying to let people do.
It does seem like a stupid gimmick thing, though, because of how different it is, per se, from everybody else. But other than that, I've got nothing else on Switch. I hope it does okay. I hope it will get better with time. It could either end up being quite popular, or it can end up flopping like the Wii U and just dying outright. And I feel like if it does die outright, Nintendo might just call it quits and just make games like Sega and become a publisher and just say, screw consoles.
Okay, so what do you want to go on the next topic?
I believe we had an ARC topic next. Did we not?
Yes, we do.
Okay. So, you just switching over the image now,
I already did.
folks?
But
Okay. So, Arc. Arc Primal. Great. I'm thinking of already the future of Arc. Arc Survival evolved.
Yeah.
Very fun. Wildcard Studios, Ark Survival Evolved. I've been playing this game quite a bit on my stream and on my YouTube with O'Leary's and a few other random people that have been meeting in game or through stream or Discord. And I've been having fun with it. Fox, I believe that you're not very well
I know of it. It just I haven't really dabbled
played it
playing
too
it.
much.
Yeah.
Okay. And Voodoo, what about you?
I haven't played it, but I do know a bit about it.
Okay, so if O'Leary's was here, me and him could go over actual gameplay and such, and then you guys would just know about stuff. But by the image, as you guys can see, the first thing about Ark is definitely the new announcement, the sponsored mods. Wildcard Studios has literally released something that is a bit changing for the modding community on Steam and such. And also for actually console, because if you look at Ark itself for Primitive Plus, which is a new kind of game mode to it, that was actually a mod created by somebody that Wildcard said, hey, this is cool. Can we put this in our game as an official actual thing? And the guy said yes. Now, Wildcard loves working with modders, actually. They literally have released their dev kit publicly, so people can mess with all sorts of stuff. Like, I've seen people do Monster Hunter mod, Pokemon, add in new kind of weapons or new kind of buildings, even mythical creatures and such, like Basilisk, there we go. I was trying to remember what the giant snake was called from Harry Potter. Stuff like that, like all sorts of different creatures. Now, their sponsored mod program that they've released, Fox, have you heard anything about this?
No, not really. I mean,
Voodoo,
you've said
yeah,
some
right.
things about it, but that's about it.
Okay. Voodoo, you've heard about the sponsored mod, haven't you?
From what I can tell, they're taking like 15 modders and paying them roughly 4,000 each month. But they're changing the 15 modders each month.
No, what it is basically Wildcard Studios is, with their sponsored mod development that they're doing, is there are specific modders that will be handpicked, like ones that are creating very good mods and currently working on them, and that the community and Wildcard finds actually very good and such. Like I know there's one mod conversion which is basically Ark Moon Survival, which is a mod that instead of starting on the island and such, you could literally be on a moon base and such. But what Wildcard's doing is, it depends on which mod it is, and the modder themselves and all that. They'll contact them and get a hold of them, and if it's a community-based one that is really loved or Wildcard likes themselves, they'll be chosen for the program. And if the modder completes their mod, Wildcard Studios will pay them $4,000 for completing their mod, which should cover any kind of cost, like internet-wise, or even any time resources that they put into. And the mod might actually be officially put into the game itself, like Moon Survival, like I was talking about. It's actually one that's been kind of talked about getting put in as a total conversion, just like Primitive Plus was. Ark itself as a game is actually very different, I've noticed. It started out as a simple kind of dinosaur world where you just survive and build simple houses, and you can eventually get up to where you can build a gun and live out your life and start to base with others or tribes and such. But lately, with the release of the tech tier and quite a few other dinos and talk about primal survival, I feel like Wildcard's got quite a few different areas they can go to for Ark. Like another one is, have either of you heard of Survival of the Fittest?
I think I have an idea what this is, but go on.
It's basically, Boo, have you heard of it?
A bit, yeah.
Okay, so basically, Survival of the Fittest it's a separate game. It's a free game, so you don't pay for anything. But you download it, and it's basically Ark, Hunger Games.
Yep, I knew it.
And they basically do have tournaments where you can compete for money and such and all that. Wildcard has that. Very high prize pools, actually, for tribes and all that. But that's one thing, is they've got Survival of Fittest, which is basically Hunger Games with Ark and dinos and such. They have the normal Ark Survival, which is basically on the island, and the Center, which was released earlier. Then they have their first DLC, Scorched Earth, which added another map and quite a few different dinos.
The only
And there
thing
was
I think with their DLC was it's still an early access game, and they released DLC for it.
that was more so of a gameplay test to see how well a DLC would work for the game. If they wanted to keep going with just adding stuff through updates and giving people stuff for free, or if people would actually be okay with every so often paid DLC to help push the game a little bit further.
Okay.
Like, another thing Wildcards also said, if you actually do look at how much is released for the game, like they've released Primal Survive, or they released Primitive Plus and the Center. Like the Center is a brand new map with, and the fact that they've added over 100 other dinos and quite a few other, and Primitive Plus itself with so many new items and different such for free. All the stuff they've added in the game, it can technically be actually out of early access. They've just been keeping it in early access. That way they can only charge about $20 to $30. I can't remember the price range right now because I bought it so long ago. But when I first bought Ark on the Xbox One, it was only about $15. I think it's up to about 30 now. But with what's released, they could technically charge it as a full game, but Wildcard refuses to until they get the game as much completed as they actually want before full game. It still technically would count as full game for what if you look at how much there is. Like, I believe out of 145 dinosaurs, they currently have 130 released, and there's so many other things that they've still got released, like Primal Survival, which is basically a new game mode where you can spawn on the Center or the island and play as a raptor, a dire bear, megalodon, all sorts of other dinos and such. But with how much they have released, they want to still make it to where it's affordable and easy to get into. Because Wildcard knows for a fact, it's like, people will look at a game like, oh, this game's $60, but it's just an open world survival game. That gets boring really easy. So Wildcard wanted to make it cheap and affordable, so that way you can talk friends into trying it, and that way they can get a little bit more help with developing the game from people buying it, but it still won't be a gouging price of $60 if you're trying to talk a friend into trying it if they're not really that big into survival open world games.
Yep. Say it again.
Yeah, so I wish Solaris was here right now because he would be able to talk to me a bit more about gameplay, but possibly we can go back to gameplay. Do you guys have anything you want to discuss about?
I don't know.
Like, what do you guys think about the whole, what I talked about for releasing about possibly the Primal Survival and the Moon Survival, how there's all different areas for this simple open world survival game, actually?
It seems to me, I don't know, I haven't really touched it, so to say, so I can't really say much about it. But it seems to me that they're trying to make something bigger instead of just, you know, how Minecraft just made Minecraft and they're like, oh, well, you can just make mods and all this stuff. He's like, oh, hey, let's put them in the games for reals. So,
and actually working with people instead of just like, oh, you want to make mods? Sure, go ahead, but whatever.
yeah.
I'm just interested in how they're going to do like with the modding though, like on how they're paying them 4,000 when they finish the mod. Like that should be interesting to see.
About how many people would actually finish their mod then.
Yeah, like for huge projects, that just makes them want to finish it.
It almost makes me wish I had a better computer and got into the dev kit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I do like that they are adding quite a bit, like especially sponsored mods and such, and how Wildcard's still keeping the game very relatively cheap for how much they've actually released. Like a lot of people complained about Scorched Earth being a DLC, but the one thing is, Scorched Earth, the map itself, they released about 20 dinos, at least over 100 new items. I went through the list of Scorched Earth items, at least over 100 items, and map the same size as the very first map that got released with the game.
Yeah.
They basically released the game all over again, but only for $20.
Yeah.
Or actually, no. When actually Scorcher released, I paid 15. So basically, they released the game a second time, but just with a whole new concept where instead of on this island or these this giant land of multiple islands spread by a sea, it's basically where it's just, okay, here you go. You're in the desert with no water. Have fun surviving. There's quite a few different play styles. Another thing they also added was their new. It's a little bit new, but it's the procedurally generated.
I think it's yours.
What's up, Fox?
Nothing. My sister was married.
Another thing they added was the new procedurally generated arcs, where basically players themselves, when starting an arc, could. Yeah, no problem. Where players themselves could actually change a little bit settings, like if they wanted to have more wood, or more forest, or more grasslands, or higher mountains, steeper mountains, deeper oceans. They could basically change the map completely to how they wanted to. That's another thing that I found was really cool, is that they added that as well as the gameplay.
Okay, back.
Okay. So, if that's all we got for Ark, shall we move on to our next one of Lord of the Rings?
Yep.
You guys can, but I'm gonna have to take off here, you guys.
All right.
You guys take care.
Have a good night, Voodoo.
You too.
All right.
So, Lord of the Rings, Shadow of War.
I'm actually surprised this one's coming out because I did not. I did.
I feel like Shadow of Mordor did very good. So
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that I did not expect this to come out because,
you didn't expect it because,
I haven't played Shadow of Mordor, but I know the gist of the gameplay of what it's from and where they're going with it. It's just like I watched a few stuff about it, and I'm not saying the game is actually pretty good. I just haven't gotten around to playing it myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, there's making this is a pretty good game, and they're like, oh hey, we're gonna make another one.
Yeah. It's been quite a bit before I've played Shadow. It's been quite a while since I played Shadow of Mordor, so the ending is a bit kind of foggy to me. But I believe the ending kind of did leave it to where there could have been a second game. But correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember. It's a yes or no where the ending was kind of like where yes, you can make a second game.
I don't know. Again, I don't know.
But Shadow of War. So the one thing that's kind of bugging me is Shadow of Mordor was supposed to actually be part of the whole Lord of the Rings storyline.
Yeah.
Now, I believe that in Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War are between The Hobbit and the original Lord of the Rings trilogy chronologically.
I think it's more closer to the Lord of the Rings.
But I believe they're still in between the two movie series.
Yeah. Yes.
So, I have not watched The Hobbit in a long time. I believe you said that you have watched it and you kind of remember it as well.
I watched.
I believe in The Hobbit. They did defeat Sauron himself in the movie, didn't they?
No. In The Hobbit, what happened was, this was way before they destroyed. The funny thing, they literally not talked about that battle that much.
Okay, so the battle where Sauron was defeated was before The Hobbit, then.
Yeah, it was way before the Hobbit.
Okay, so Sauron did get defeated.
Yeah, he got defeated, but literally from it probably tells more in the books. I don't know, I haven't read the books, but in the movie, they just literally
nobody remembers this giant battle that decided the fate of Middle Earth.
Well, that's literally all they said about it, and then they showed what happened. Is he got, his fingers got chopped off, but
yeah,
they didn't explain how he got up to that, like how he got there or anything like that. Like they kind of did, but they didn't like go, oh well, this is how it happened. But like that's the strange thing about it is that like it in itself as a movie is would be an interesting one to watch.
So I
But
do know that in Shadow of Mordor, Sauron's army was slightly returning. The orcs were attacking, so it showed that Sauron was coming back in a sense.
yes,
And then in Shadow of War, from what I've gathered from the trailer and such, they say that he is back, which could mean that Sauron himself is actually going to be faced off in Shadow of War as a final boss, which chronologically makes it a little bit weird because if he is the final boss, like, as a possibility, because there was the Great Battle where he got defeated, then the Hobbit movies, Shadow of Mordor where he started to come back with his orc army, then Shadow of War, he himself comes back, Sauron, gets defeated, and then after Shadow of War, depending on if there's another game in between to kind of fill in gap or whatever, then the original Lord of the Rings trilogy where Sauron comes back again. So in all reality, he gets defeated twice and then tries to come back
well,
a second time and gets defeated in the original Lord of the Rings trilogy, which chronologically seems very strange.
technically
The fact that he
speaking,
got defeated twice.
he never really came back, like in his human form. It was just that he was building his armies up.
Right. But
So,
when he is like in Shadow of War, if he comes back himself in his human form as a final boss, it would be very weird chronologically.
It could make sense actually, because if
Depends on how much of a time gap there is between Shadow of War and the original trilogy.
I'm gonna say this, it depends on how they play it out, so to say. Like if they're like, oh well, this Shadow War is gonna start, and like it's gonna be in like the main city of the human place, then yeah, that's gonna be like, yeah, no. But if it's like some,
Because it looked like the main city for the humans was under attack in the trailer.
I don't know, maybe it could be some other city. But then again, I
It
don't
could
know.
be a smart city, but even still, it's still strange that it's there.
Then
Another thing is in the trailer, the very start of the trailer, he's creating another ring of power,
yeah.
which in all reality doesn't make sense because there was the original few that were made, which gave Sauron his power in the first place and made him go crazy and rise up, along with everybody else's. But then this one ranger, mixed with a wraith, is creating a brand new ring of power.
I don't know. like I said, just you gotta wait until it comes out at that point.
Mm-hmm. Like, to see how it plays out. Like I said, if it's a possibility that Sauron does return in his human form as a final boss, it does seem a bit weird chronologically, depending on if Shadow War is not that far off from the original trilogy story-wise, and also depending on if there would be another game in between to kind of put stuff in. Like, I enjoyed Shadow of Mordor. I enjoyed playing it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind playing Shadow War, just trying it out. I find it a time killer.
Yeah.
It just, chronologically, it seems a bit strange to me.
I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Mhm.
But I think that's enough on that, though. If you have
Because
anything more.
there's only the trailer that we could go on for now. For
Yeah.
Shadow War.
All right, so our next
So
thing.
now I guess we'll be on to something that a lot of people have had mixed feelings about currently.
Really? I've never heard any mixed feelings about this one.
Some people are saying yes, it's good. Resident Evil 7. Some people said it's good. It feels like the original Resident Evil. But then there's some people that say, oh, it's a bit strange because where does it fit chronologically? Where does this new virus come in? Blah, blah. Oh, it's another weird bioengineered virus.
I feel like
That's
what it
something,
should.
the mutations, or even the fact that some people are like, why is it first person, per se?
I would say this. This would be cool if they just did this with this one and just said, "Hey, this is just a." I don't. It's not a reboot. I know that for certain. But like,
No, it's not a reboot. It's somewhere in the timeline. I just can't figure out where.
I'm guessing it would be in the beginning.
A
If I
lot
had
of
to
people,
guess.
a lot of people have been speculating that Resident Evil 7 is actually in the beginning of the chronological story, because a lot of people think that the virus, I don't exactly remember what the hell they called Evelyn's virus, is the reason they found the T virus. But
You
there
just
have been
said
other.
it.
Did they actually call Evelyn's virus the T virus?
Yes, I think they
Did
did.
they actually call it the T virus?
I think it's called the T virus, or that's from
No,
something else.
Because it's got to be something else. Because
What's that from? Then.
the T virus is the one that created the original zombies, Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, then yeah, that's the right one. No, I'm just kidding.
Haha, very funny, Fox. But no, that's one thing is I don't know exactly where it could possibly fit. But I guess we'd have to see where it could fit in story-wise. Because, like, another thing is, have you played or beaten it or seen it?
I've seen all of it. I was watching a playthrough of this.
Okay. I still need to
and-
finish my playthrough, but because of friends, I had this ending spoiled for me already. But I could care
Oh,
less.
okay. Well, I was gonna say if you haven't seen it.
No, I've had it already spoiled because of friends, but I still need to finish my playthrough on Twitch. Hey, come
Well-
watch me on Twitch.
God, wow, sell out.
Shameless plugs. Shameless
It's
plugs.
such a soda. No, anyway, but yeah.
One thing that's bugging me about the ending is Redfield. Is it actually Chris Redfield, and why is he with Umbrella? See, that's one thing is in the first Resident Evil, I believe he was only in his early 20s. So that's another thing why, if it is Chris Redfield, I don't think Resident Evil 7 is in
Okay,
the beginning of the game.
Hold on, I have a better way of looking at it.
Okay. Let's
All
hear
right, so you have Chris Redfield. And what game was he from again?
Resident Evil 1, and 5 and 6.
Okay, so this is what I'm gonna say. This could be still the beginning of the Resident Evil like series. This could be like the father of Chris Redfield.
Possibly. It could
Like,
be.
could be that. Could be.
No, but what I'm saying is, the reason, if this is like Chris Redfield himself, this is why I don't think it's the beginning of the series.
Yeah, but if it's
Somebody with the Redfield, if it's somebody with the Redfield name though, then it could possibly be the beginning.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you. With
Mhm.
that. I'm not saying that, hey, this is Chris Redfield, but no, this is actually probably like his father before shit went down and like, yeah, all that happened.
But the strange thing about it is, when you're playing through the game and you get to the part where the radio is, and suddenly this is Redfield. On the radio, he sounds like the original Chris Redfield from 5 and 6. But when he gets to you in the ending cutscene, he sounds different than he did on the radio, almost as if it's literally two different people with the name Redfield.
Never know.
Another thing is, even though it says Umbrella Corporation, the symbol does look different. I believe it's a blue and white one instead.
Oh, let's see.
But yeah, so I don't know for the story-wise of Resident Evil 7, but other than the story and chronological, the game itself, I've enjoyed the game quite a bit actually. I find it found its way into my heart through the old scare tactics of Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3, the horror and such. I found it very thrilling and also very horrifying to walk through this old abandoned, run-down kind of Louisiana swamp house, as there's creatures around any corner and they're hidden and I can't really see them unless I turn the corner and walk ahead a certain distance. Like, other than Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3's third-person camera, in Resident Evil 7, even though it's first-person view, and you can still fight back, which takes a little bit it takes a bit from Alien Isolation where you can fight back and such, and it's first person view, but you don't know what's around the corner until it's there, or you can't hear anything, or it's hidden behind a dresser or something.
Yeah.
Then also with that is there is also the Baker family themselves.
Okay, yeah, this is somebody else. Okay. I was looking up the Chris Redfield.
See, that's another thing is, yeah, he doesn't look like the actual Chris Redfield. Like, he looks much different.
Yeah, because if you look it up, Chris, now I remember, yeah, Chris Redfield is like the one with the black hair and all that. And this guy has like brown, yeah, it has to be.
See, that's one strange thing is the way he looks in Resident Evil 7, this Redfield character. I'm not going to, because even in the credits they say Chris Redfield, but that could just be them messing with everybody.
Probably.
But another thing is the Resident Evil 7 Redfield. If you look at how he looks with how slim he is, the brown hair and short hair. He looks how Chris Redfield from Resident Evil 1 looked.
Yeah, probably.
The young Redfield, which is strange again, because you think, okay, if it is young Chris Redfield, when was he ever part of Umbrella? But another thing is also these giant mutations from Resident Evil 7, these monstrous mutations. If they already have a virus that can mutate that much, why was Resident Evil 1 only simple zombies and one tyrant, if it's such a big difference in virus? That's another thing that makes me think that Resident Evil 7 is later in the series, because they've got the BOW kind of enemies, not just the simple small virus mutation.
Maybe this was they were trying to, what's the word? They were trying to experiment it because they didn't know what was going on, basically, in that area.
Possibly. But I mean, like I said, also with the Switch, only time will really tell for how it turns out.
Yeah.
Other than that, I've enjoyed Resident Evil 7 playing through.
Yeah.
A lot of people have said that it's going quite well for how the series is. A lot of people are really enjoying that they're going back to the original classic horror sense, not just Michael Bay explosions everywhere, fight a giant T-Rex.
But I like playing against the giant T-Rex. No, I'm just kidding.
Like, that's the one problem I had with Resident Evil 5 and 6. 6 had... When it came to 6, there was the Leon campaign, which felt like the old classic Resident Evil games where it's like kind of slow paced, over the shoulder. Not so much action until the very end of his campaign, more horror styled. While there was Jake's campaign, which felt like a mixture of action and also horror, which is kind of how Resident Evil 4 was. And then, in all honesty, Chris's campaign just felt like Call of Duty Zombies. Well, if you look at Resident Evil 6, is Chris' campaign's opening. It's literally him driving through a city in an armored vehicle convoy, and suddenly a fucking rocket launcher blows up the first one, flips it, and the rest get out, and it's literally a gunfight.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Like, if you look at Leon's campaign opened up with, shit, there's a zombie virus outbreak.
Yeah.
Same with Resident Evil 4. That's what I loved about Resident Evil 4 is it was, yeah, sure, they had weapons. They kind of were a little bit intelligent, but they were still virus or, well, parasite controlled. Same goes with Resident Evil 5. In the beginning, sure, they were like Resident Evil 4, where they swung just basic farm tools and all sorts of weapons. But then we got a little bit later into the game, they started using guns, and there was just a lot of explosions and grenades, and there was even enemies that had machine guns and such, and they just used that. And I know that they tried to kind of pull Resident Evil 3 Nemesis a little bit with the chain gun guys, but it just did not work.
Yeah.
But other than that, when it came to Resident Evil 5, Also, some of the action in that game, I felt like it was a very big letdown. Like when they were fighting Wesker in the volcano.
Yeah.
When I first got there, Wesker mutating into the Ouroboros mixture thing was such a cool moment for me, actually.
Yeah.
Then it got to this rudimentary, just kind of walk around in a circle, shoot him. Like, sure, that's how the Titan was, or the Tyrant for Resident Evil 1 was, and Nemesis and such. But
That was.
Wesker's moveset was just very much of a letdown for how he looked. Along with also the fact is Chris's boulder punching.
Boulder punching.
Let us get onto Chris's boulder punching. When that moment came up, and literally it came to Chris having to cross the lava up a volcano, and came up to this giant boulder, it's like, okay, so he's going to push it. He starts pushing it, sure, and suddenly, boom, boom, boom. 3 fists go flying and just punches the boulder. It's like, why are you punching a boulder, sir?
Being actiony. Alright.
But other than that, Resident Evil 5 and 6, for 6, depending on which campaign, 5 was a complete letdown for me, but Resident Evil 7 definitely feels like it's going back to the original Resident Evil, which I am enjoying, and I can't wait to see what they do. I hope they will go along this path where it's still back to the old horror. I don't mind the first-person view. What do you think about the first-person view?
I think it's a welcome change to people old and new. I don't know about like old people who played like the old players who played the third person view, but like I feel like it's.
What, are you calling me old?
No, I'm saying, like I don't know everybody who would like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think it was fine because like I played like Alien Isolation. I know how like how good it is as this, and putting it as a Resident Evil game is probably a good idea because you're in the shoes of the character instead of being on like the outside of the character, so to say.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of moments in the game where it would be like super scary when it's like super quiet and all that. So, like if it was in third person, you'd probably maybe see it from like not a mile away, but you'll see it coming or something like that. Because like the camera would be like probably right by like enough to see what's behind you a little bit.
Yeah.
Not all the way, but still.
Well, in Resident Evil 4, that's the first game that had over-the-shoulder camera.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 4's camera was actually angled just right where, yes, if something came behind you, you would see it, but you would basically only see it right as it's about to hit you in the back of the skull.
Yeah.
Which was always just whenever you're just shooting something in front of you and you're going to reload, suddenly you see an axe being swung at you from back. It's like, oh, fuck!
Yeah.
But other than that, the first-person view I do enjoy. It added a little bit more sense of fear in my mind. Then again, I'm a big bitch when it comes to horror games.
Yeah.
So last thing about Resident Evil 7 is, what's your view on the Baker family?
I don't know. Like, I feel like the more and more they open up about them, the more and more I'm like, well, that's cool that they showed them off, but like they just feel like they just have them in there just to have them in there, so to say.
Yeah.
I think that's like
Jack was a terrifying presence to me, actually.
Oh yeah. I could see like they're all terrifying. It's just like it seemed like when you get to the ending, it's like, well, hold on, wait a minute, this isn't really who the bad guys are. It's just this little girl.
They're just being controlled by this little girl.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you find so many of the notes along the game and you find all sorts of other stuff, you know that no, Jack is not. Like, even during the dream sequence, he even says he's not a killer, nor is anybody else. They're just driven mad by the disease. Like, if you look at the Daughters DLC, you
Yeah.
can see that they're all completely fine, but then Evelyn's brought into the home, and the first one affected is Jack. And Jack is literally torturing his wife, trying to convert her into Evelyn's slave.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Jack first.
I saw Jack was the first one that turned.
No, it was the mother got turned first, then Jack.
Really? Because I remember one scene where, what's her name? The daughter.
Yeah.
Maggie.
Maggie.
Maggie's her name, right?
No, it's starts with a Z actually.
Zoe.
Zoe. Yeah.
Zoe walks into the upstairs bathroom during the Daughters DLC, and you see Jack dunking Marguerite's head into
Yeah,
the
but you're
water of the bathtub.
You're forgetting the first what happened before that. You're literally forgetting what happened before that because there was a part where you go to the mother, and the mother's like, "Oh, this child's giving me a gift," and she turns around and like spits out the bugs and stuff.
I thought that happened after if you go downstairs and she gives you the key. Or is that the bedroom DLC? I have to go through it again.
I don't. I'm not sure, but like I said, I'm
I
pretty
believe
sure.
Jack was the first one to turn.
I'm pretty sure it's the exact opposite
Possibly,
from the DLC, if I remember correctly.
But if you do see the beginning of the DLC as Evelyn is being carried to home, they are all very civil people. They're all very just
Yeah.
humble and nice, and Marguerite is just a sweetheart, actually.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at the bedroom DLC, the moments when she's just talking to you where you haven't been caught out of bed or anything, or she's not getting pissy because you're not eating her food, she's actually very nice. And that's who she was as a person.
Mhm. Yep.
Like, another thing, actually, that showed this, a little bit bad about this, about how Evelyn has torn the family apart. During the Daughters DLC, where when you get to a car as Zoe in the garage and you're about to drive away, suddenly you see Jack pull you out of the car and throws you to the ground, and he's like, you know he's about to hit Zoe because he brings his fists up, but you see him hesitate and you see kind of worry go across his face. You can see he's fighting against Evelyn's word, saying, I don't want to beat my own daughter.
Yeah.
You can see that him being forced to do this was torturing him on the inside. Same with Marguerite and all of them, except for Lucas. Lucas was an evil child, and regardless. The one thing that confused me, actually, speaking of the Baker family and Evelyn's control, is Lucas, the way he seems, he doesn't seem to be under the control of Evelyn.
I think he liked the having that, I guess, power. I guess I don't know. Like I can't explain it.
I mean, if you think about it, when he grabs, what's your wife's name?
Yeah. That's the one thing about this game, that they don't really get you attached to the characters very much, in my opinion.
When your wife, you find her in the basement that one time, and suddenly she's talking to you, and you see Lucas come up and grab her from behind and pull her into the door, he just suddenly turns to you and just looks at you, and all of a sudden, well, do something. Like, doesn't sound hostile or anything. He's just trying to say, move. Don't just sit there.
Yeah.
It's almost as if he's, like, wanting to go against Evelyn, but at the same time, it's like, it looks like he's cured and wants to destroy Evelyn. There's been actually a few theories that he works for Umbrella himself, actually.
Well, I don't think that would work, because he said he didn't want to be cured in the first place.
But, I mean, he could also just be playing along. He could have been cured and playing along and making sure Evelyn doesn't realize this.
Well, that wouldn't make sense why he could transform into the boss fight he was in.
Did Lucas actually transform?
Yes, he did.
I don't remember him transforming. I might not be at that part yet.
Yeah. He does transform. And, like, that wouldn't make no sense because he literally didn't want to change from the whole entire game.
Hmm.
Like when you get to his, when you get to his like boss level or his level to his area, it opens up and tells him like, oh well, I don't want you doing this because you like I like this power and all this stuff. So yeah.
I'm kind of looking up and I don't see any Lucas boss fight, like him transforming, actually.
Wait, am I talking about the same person?
I'm talking about the son.
Yeah, he does transform.
Because Jack has the car fight.
Yeah.
Marguerite has her transformation. Then there's Jack turning into the giant creature in the one area after you free Zoe. And then there's also the final boss fight that I know of.
Okay.
Lucas never once actually transformed.
Hold on a second. I swear I saw him transform. Because I swear I watched it. Because he literally said that he didn't want this to change. He likes the power and all that stuff. I remember him saying that.
Because there's also the fat molded boss fight. Yeah, there's no Lucas boss fight.
Hold on a second. I might have to watch that thing because I remember him being one of the boss fights. But I don't know. Maybe I was wrong. Alright, so... do we want to go to the next one? Or...
By the way, his wife is named Mia.
Oh, Mia, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so... Yeah.
So I'm kind of looking at a scene. It's talking about it's talking about a mini boss battle against Lucas Baker, but don't believe that this transformation that's right here is Lucas. I believe this is the Jack one that somebody's trying to say is Lucas.
I'll look it up later.
This boss fight right here, the one that I'm looking at, is Jack.
I'll look it up later, and I'll tell you. And I think we should move on to something else.
Mm-hmm. If you want to move on to the next one, sure.
All right. So this is a good one. This is a good one. Great.
Oh, this one's next.
The Metal Gear Survival, man. What do you think about that? Great.
Metal Gear Survive.
Oh, Survive, not Survival. My bad.
Yeah, you're right. Metal Gear Survive. What a time to be alive. Holy. What else is there to say about Metal Gear Survive?
Maybe it might be good. Might not. We'll never know.
I mean, I know Metal Gear Solid, the game itself, and Metal Gear Rising and such, like all the Metal Gear games that have come out, have had quite a few different approaches. But Metal Gear Survive in itself is a fucking zombie game.
I don't know, man. Well, it kind of makes sense because it's on a different, I guess, universe or something. I don't.
If you think about it, we just got through the Phantom Pain or whichever the last Metal Gear game is.
You said it right.
In the trailer. You can see in the trailer the very last Metal Gear game is the one that we just got through, and suddenly the base is going down, and this random fuck standing on the base platform gets sucked up through this damn portal by aliens or some other shit and thrown into a world where there's zombies.
I thought it was the from the what's the word? I thought it was the last base that they were in, not the new one that they were in.
It was some ocean platform. So
Yeah, like they had two ocean platforms. There was the one was there's one before this one. They had two. They had one.
But there was one that was being destroyed that they were flying away from, and just showed some random soldier fuckhead standing on a platform as it's being destroyed. And suddenly you get sucked up into some portal in the sky.
That's the one I'm talking about. That was probably the one that what they're going for, because
but even still, it's like, who the fuck is this random shithead? Who the fuck just sucked up the shithead? Is it aliens or some other bullshit? And why is he thrown into some other dimension where there's literally zombies?
I don't know. Like I said, I'm not sure.
And another thing is they're not normal zombies. They're like some weird crystal zombie where they have a fucking crystal embedded in their skull that you can see.
I don't know.
Like, Konami needs to get shit together.
All I'm gonna say is that, hey, we haven't really seen the game. It was just, that.
But from what I see in the trailer,
Yeah, it's a trailer.
like, is anybody from the original Metal Gear team actually working on this? I feel like nobody from the original team is working on this. That's why they're getting this random bullshit. It almost feels like the Tom Clancy games, where it's just trying to go off of hype of the name.
Yeah.
Like, ever since Konami got rid of Kojima, Metal Gear has not been the same.
Well, then again, he was there for all the games except this one. So, we don't know if it's going to be the same or not.
Even still, like, I don't know, I just have a bad feeling about Survive, in a sense, by itself.
Yeah. I understand, but you gotta keep some hope.
Like, I haven't played Metal Gear, like, crazy much, like a lot of my other friends, but I know the story here and there. There was a few games I've missed. Like, I think Metal Gear 2 and 3 I missed.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't played them all, but even still, like, the fact is that they went from following this super soldier, spy, agent, clone, to crystal zombies in another dimension.
Yeah, but again, this is their first time doing this, so
Without Kojima.
yeah, so I don't know.
Which is why I feel like it's going to fail, because they got rid of the guy who literally made this amazing series.
No, no. Maybe it's. I gotta think for this. Maybe this is not what you think it's gonna be.
I sure hope it's not, because, like, from that trailer, it seems really dumb to me.
Well, if I'm guessing what it is the fact that they just had random, like, soldiers, I guess you could say. I think it's just that's the fact that you can, like, customize your character in a way.
Possibly, but even still, like, the story itself, like, you got sucked in some alternate dimension, there's crystal zombies, and now you gotta fight to survive and somehow get back to your dimension, I'm guessing, because even from the picture, you can see that there is a portal above that old building. Which means that they're thinking about doing something with the portal staying open.
Or it's just that it's a, like, arc in a way. It's probably just like a survival, like, well, not horror, but survival game, but based
so
off
like
of Metal Gear.
No story kind of thing.
Yeah,
that would, to me, that'd be even worse then, because, like,
I mean, you don't know. Like, that's why they didn't give you a lot from the trailer, so to say.
Yeah, but, like, the fact that they literally used that kind of opening for the trailer, where it's like from the platform that's getting destroyed to this, like, watching them fly off in a helicopter, and then this random guy gets sucked in a portal. It seems like it's going to be story based, but what I mean is, if they really wanted to make just an open world zombie survival game, for whatever reason, don't use the Metal Gear name just to hype it.
I don't know. That's
Like you said, if it's like Ark, where it's literally you start in this world, make your own character, and survive in a zombie world, please don't use Metal Gear as a name because people will get pissed off. There's going to be so many fans pissed off with this.
we'll see what happens. It could be like the best thing ever since sliced bread. You never know. Anyway,
Yeah, that might be it, or that might not be it. We'll have to see how that goes.
is there anything else you want to talk about that, or?
Not really, because it's like with Shadow of War, there's not too much to go off of currently.
Well, that's the thing. The weird thing is that trailer came out a while ago. This
Yeah,
other
and
one just came out of nowhere.
Yes, Metal Gear Survive's trailer came out a while ago, but there has not been any news. I've not seen any news about Survive as of late, which, for a Metal Gear game, that seems strange that you don't hear anything about it.
Okay.
But other than that, I guess we'll move on to the next one. One that I got you into a couple of days ago before we started to do this.
Yeah.
And it's something that... It's a short film. We're going away from gaming. Well, it kind of has a gaming aspect to it. It feels like a really weird video game, but Kung Fury.
Oh my gosh, I saw this.
This 30-minute short film that you can find on Netflix or YouTube, wherever you want to fucking find it. I got Fox to watch this.
Oh my
Because
gosh.
I said to Fox, if we do this podcast, we're going to cover Kung Fury.
Yeah. Like I said, I didn't know what to expect from this movie.
Well, I remember the very first scene I told you to look up to get into it was the Laser Raptors, I believe.
Gosh.
And as soon as
It didn't help. It
He
didn't.
said, I'm watching this.
It didn't help that I was playing For Honor at the time. I'm like,
No, because it was...
I like
what year is
really.
this? The Viking Age.
This is a Viking
Well,
game. Oh,
that's
that.
the Laser Raptors. Fuck.
So funny.
So for anybody that has not seen Kung Fury, Kung Fury is a 30-minute short film. Like I said, you can find it on YouTube, Netflix, wherever. It's a 30-minute short film that basically was funded by Kickstarter and donations and such. It's not even an actual film studio. It's just a bunch of guys that worked on it and such. And it did very good for what it did. It's basically a film about this one cop.
This one kid cop.
This one kid cop. Like, how old is he in the movie again?
I don't think they tell you, but you can tell he's pretty young.
You can tell by how he's supposed to act that he's actually a younger cop.
Yeah.
This movie, I'm gonna say movie because that's easy to say. This movie basically is a spin-off to all the old '80s cop and kung fu movies.
Yeah.
The
And
premise of the story is, what's the cop's name again? What did they say his name was?
they didn't say his name. He just
yeah,
that's his
they
actual
never-
name. His name is Kung Fu or Kung Fury. Sorry.
Right. His name in the precinct was Kung Fury. They've never actually called him anything else. So Kung Fury was a normal cop with a partner one day, and one day they got called out to this back alley where there was a domestic ninja attack.
It was a ninja master.
There was a
Or
ninja
something.
master making some trouble. And in this back alley, his partner got killed by this ninja master. And he was about to get killed himself as well when suddenly a cobra bit him at the same time he was struck by lightning. The fusion of cobra venom and lightning energy was enough to awaken masterful kung fu powers within him for some fucking reason.
Well, you know what's funny about this film too?
What's that?
When I guess there's apparently they're gonna make a second one,
Oh yeah, there's been talk about the second one.
and like when I was watching it, the thing I watched it on said that there was a second one, but it wasn't available. I don't know, like it was weird. It was not available, but it told me there is a second one to it.
Now, this movie was made in 2015, actually.
Yep.
So it's not that old. It's actually pretty new for this. But so yeah, he basically awakens masterful kung fu powers through this weird mixture of lightning and cobra venom. Defeats the defeats the Master Ninja, obviously, and becomes one of the better cops in the precinct.
Better cop? Question mark.
Better cop, yeah. He is then kind of sent off to precinct, called in by the chief, to be given a new partner a couple years later after dealing with a rogue arcade machine robot with laser wrists that basically started its rampage because somebody said fuck this game and kicked the machine. It said fuck you back, pulled out middle fingers, and shot lasers from the middle fingers to kill the kids in the arcade, and then went on a rampage in the city.
Well, I wouldn't want to say a lot more. I would, if anyone who watches this, I would recommend watching it.
Oh yeah, I would very much recommend watching this, but I'm just saying like how the opening kind of is. So he's called into the office to try to be given a new partner. I'm not gonna say exactly how this partner is, but I'm just gonna say his name is Triceracop, if that helps anybody.
Yeah.
And he refuses, as always, because the classic '80s cop movie. Oh, my partner was killed in action. I don't want another to die on me. Basically, that old bullshit. The kung fu is very broken as well. If you watch the later scenes with the fight against the army. But the army is actually, the funny part is there is the army of Hitler. Kung Fury is actually on a mission because of Hitler coming to the future, shooting up the police station, and going back in time. So Kung Fury must go back in time to stop Hitler. Which, for some fucking reason, Hitler could time travel.
For some odd reason, they had to go back in time, even though they could have just done it in the same area.
Yeah, because Hitler was in the same area.
Yeah.
He was literally in the future with them, and then Kung Fury went into the past to kill Hitler, even though Hitler was in the future with Kung Fury. So Kung Fury goes into the past. He goes back a bit too far. I guess there was some glitch in Hacker Man's computer system, and he ends up in the Viking Age, where there's laser raptors and T-Rexes and such and all that. And he meets his first companion, well, second companion, third if you count Triceracop and Hacker Man.
Yeah.
Barbariana. Basically, a barbarian chick riding a direwolf with a minigun. Very interesting already. They meet their second. He meets a second barbarian chick, or Viking chick, whichever. She has a pet T-Rex that they ride along. What was her name again?
Katana.
Katana, right? They just call her Katana. I don't know why.
You know, when I first saw it, when they said that name, I was half tempted to see a samurai chick for some odd reason. But when they changed, I was like, oh, they ruined it. Why would you ruin it?
See, now you're just wanting more For Honor.
No, but it would have been funnier because their name was Katana. It would make so much sense.
So they meet Cortana, and Barbarian, Kung Fury, and Cortana ride this T-Rex to some lake to try to get help with getting to the right timeline, which is the future of the Viking Age, to where Hitler is, where there's Nazi Germany actually. Now, to get to the future, they require the aid of Thor, the god of thunder, for some fucking reason.
Yeah, not Odin, the god
Not
of
Odin. Not Odin, not the all god of fucking Asgard. No, Thor, the god of thunder, not the time travel.
You know, it's funny because that actor, you could have just had him as Odin, and it would make more sense.
I know, they could have had him as Odin, but for some reason they decided, let's just throw Thor in, so he throws lightning around.
Yeah, I didn't
and
understand
so
that.
Thor helps him get to the future, and Kung Fury makes it to where Nazi Germany is, throws a tank through a wall, and front flips in, it's like, fuck you, Hitler. And then the fight with Hitler's Nazi army begins. The Kung Fu there in this fight scene is very
Bad.
bad, but you can tell it is still making jokes on the old 80s movies. Like, there's literally a part where he stands there with both arms stretched out, and 4 Nazis run at him and start just flinching as if they're being hit, but he's literally standing there doing nothing. He also even skates on some dude's corpse. He grabs somebody by the throat, throws him on the ground, and literally stands on him and literally kicks off with his other foot, and he starts sliding across the floor.
I forgot about that.
A very, very strange fight. Hitler nearly beats him till he gets a little bit of help from his companions who come to his aid. But for anybody that wants to see, I won't go into very much detail about all these scenes, but it's only 30 minutes. You can find it on Netflix or YouTube, and I would very much recommend watching Kung Fury.
Alright.
Okay, let's go into a little bit of a review of Kung Fury for fun.
I mean, I don't know where to begin with this show, this movie. Like, it's funny because they could make a whole TV show of this, and it would just be
They
great.
literally could make a fucking TV series of this.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah. When I saw this, I literally had no idea what to expect. I was like, this can't be possibly that great. It's like after I watched it, I was like, wow, it was that great.
I remember I was sitting here in Discord with Fox and just kind of I send him the clip of the Laser Raptors, and all of a sudden it's like, here, watch this, and then go watch the movie later. He's like sitting there quiet, all of a sudden just like, what the fuck? I'm watching this.
Watching this.
Like he basically just lost it.
I was like, all right then.
It was quite good to hear him say that, because it's like, yes, I get somebody else into Kung Fury.
Alright.
The Kung Fury himself was played as the old cop style for sure, just this hard ass. Even though he was a young cop, like he was literally like the old 40-year-old cop you'd see in the 80s movies, but he seemed like he was like 19. And just the one-liners in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, I'm disarming you. There is literally a scene, I'm going to explain this scene. There's literally a scene where Kung Fury grabs an Nazi by the arm, looks him in the gas mask, I'm disarming you, rips it off, beats him over the head to death with his own arm, and then sticks it on his fucking gun, starts spinning it, and uses it as a helicopter to lift himself in the air as he takes his other gun and shoots more Nazis.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
It is such a strange but amazing scene to watch. I loved it. At the same time, I was confused by the physics of it, but then I remembered it's an 80s kung fu / cop movie.
Yeah. Alright, so...
I would say if I was going to score this, I would give it a 4 out of 5.
A 4 out of 5. That's pretty generous for only a 30-minute film.
Even because it's only 30 minutes, so it's not too... I don't really care about if it's only a 30-minute film, but just the way it was made, it is a great addition to any family movie night.
Yeah.
What would you rate it, Fox?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. I don't think you can rate this. You can't. There's nothing you can rate it with. Just
Yeah,
it's one of those movies like, yeah.
So for anybody that has not seen Kung Fury, me and Fox both very much recommend go watch Kung Fury.
Yeah.
So other than that, it's getting pretty late. We've been up for about 2 hours of this now?
Hour and a half.
Hour and a half. Alright, well, this is our very first one, and
You don't want to talk
Doesn't
about
go-
the last thing or no?
not with O'Larry's and Voodoo missing.
Okay.
We can save the other last topic for next time.
Okay.
So yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed Deadcast. This will also be up on YouTube if you have missed it or anything. We'll figure out which YouTube later on.
Alright.
And other than that, we hope you guys have a good night. This is Deadman signing off, and Fox is with me here as well. So
Yeah,
goodbye,
this-
you scaly bastard.
What? No, you crazy. Anyway, this is Black Fox signing off. See you guys.